When I served as a cavalry scout, one truth became clear fast. Chaos doesn't wait for you to be ready. In the field, we didn't get timeouts or warnings. 1 minute you're on patrol, and the next, everything changes. Out here, in civilian life, the chaos looks different. It's not incoming fire, it's a blackout, a supply chain collapse, or a storm that knocks out power for a week. But the mindset that keeps you alive, it's the same. This briefing isn't about fear, it's about being ready. I'm going to walk you through 6 survival lessons the military drilled into me. Lessons that every civilian can use to protect their family and thrive when things fall apart. You don't have to be a soldier to think like one. You just need to understand how soldiers survive when there's no margin for error. So grab a cup of coffee, take a seat, and let's get into it. The first lesson every soldier learns is this: discipline beats equipment every time. I've seen soldiers with state-of-the-art gear freeze under pressure because they didn't train, didn't maintain their tools, or couldn't stay calm when things went wrong. And I've seen others, guys with the bare minimum, pull off miracles because they were disciplined. Prepping is no different. People love to show off their bug-out bags, fancy flashlights, and survival gadgets, but all of it means nothing without the mindset to actually use them under stress. Discipline is what gets you out of bed early to check your generator, rotate your water, and test your comms. It's what makes you finish that task even when you're tired, cold, or frustrated. When the grid goes down, your biggest enemy isn't the dark. It's panic. It's hesitation. It's letting your emotions make decisions for you. In the military, discipline was our foundation. No excuses, no shortcuts, just consistency and accountability. So ask yourself, are you practicing discipline now? Are you testing your preps, not just owning them? Are you mentally rehearsing what to do when things go wrong? Because the guy with a $30 flashlight and discipline will outlast the guy with a $300 flashlight and no backbone. Discipline is the difference between surviving and hoping. The second lesson, never go into anything blind. Always have a plan. As a cavalry scout, our mission was to move ahead of the main force, to see what was coming, identify threats, and prepare the path. We never left base without multiple plans in place: primary, secondary, and fallback. Because in combat, the plan never survives first contact, but the planning process itself saves lives. In civilian terms, that means this: if disaster hits tonight, do you know your plan? Where to meet? Who to call? What to grab first? Most people don't. When crisis strikes, they freeze, paralyzed by choices they should have made weeks ago. Your plan doesn't have to be complicated. Start with the basics. Who's responsible for what? Where's your rally point if you can't communicate? What are your 2 exit routes out of town? Who in your circle has medical training, tools, or land outside the city? Write it down. Don't trust your memory, and test it. In the field, we rehearsed every move until we could do it half asleep. Civilians can do the same. Run drills, simulate scenarios, practice evacuations. When the lights go out and panic spreads, you won't have time to think. You'll act on what you've practiced. So build a plan, and then build the habit of sticking to it. Because in a crisis, preparation isn't optional, it's survival. In the field, losing communication was one of the worst things that could happen. When radios went down, coordination broke apart, and people got hurt. Information is life. When a disaster hits your area, a grid failure, a cyber attack, a major storm, cell towers will jam or die fast. That leaves you blind and disconnected. So, lesson 3, build reliable communication, get handheld radios, GMRS, FRS, or ham, and learn to use them. Don't wait for the emergency to figure out frequencies or range. And don't forget the low-tech backups, whistles, signal lights, pre-planned signs, or even coded messages if you need them. Have a communication plan within your group. Who checks in when? Who calls who first? Who updates the family if the internet is gone? In the military, we called it comms discipline. You didn't chatter, you didn't flood the airwaves. You passed what mattered clearly and fast. For preppers, that means cutting out confusion. One person might handle logistics, another handles navigation, another checks local news or radio. Also, remember, communication isn't only radios, it's trust networks. Your neighbors, family, and local community form your first layer of defense. If you've never spoken to them, if you don't know their skills, you're missing a massive advantage. No soldier fights alone, and no prepper should either. Build your circle now, while it's calm, not during the storm. In the military, training wasn't glamorous. We trained until our muscles ached and our gear was soaked through. Why? Because when the real thing hit, there was no time to learn. Lesson 4. Train like it's real. You can't learn survival skills by watching videos alone. You have to do them, under pressure, under fatigue, under discomfort. When was the last time you started a fire in the rain, or cooked a full meal without power, or navigated home without GPS? If you've never done it when things were easy, you won't do it when things are hard. Try this. Pick one weekend every few months to go dark. No power, no phones, no internet. Live off your preps. You'll quickly see what works and what doesn't. Maybe your batteries die faster than expected. Maybe your water filter clogs. Maybe you realize your flashlight batteries fit your radio, and you just drained your only spare set. That's how you learn. In training, mistakes are teachers. In real life, mistakes are threats. The military drilled us until every action was second nature, because in chaos, you don't think, you react. Your reactions are built on repetition. So train until your survival habits are automatic. Because when panic hits, instinct is what keeps you alive. This is the lesson that separates survivors from victims. Adapt and overcome. In the military, no mission ever went exactly to plan. We lost comms, vehicles broke down, supplies ran short. But quitting wasn't an option. You adapted. Prepping works the same way. You might stock months of food, but what if you lose your storage space? You might plan to bug out, but what if your route is blocked? You might rely on fuel, but what if you can't get more? Adaptability is your greatest weapon. Think like a scout. Look ahead, read the situation, and adjust. If your plan fails, improvise. If a piece of gear breaks, find a workaround. If you lose an advantage, make a new one. When I was deployed, we once lost our main radio gear mid-operation. We had to rely on runners and light signals to stay coordinated. It wasn't ideal, but it worked. Because adaptability is mindset, not circumstance. You can teach yourself the same flexibility by running what-if drills. What if your bug-in fails? What if your backup plan collapses? What if you have to move at night? Run those scenarios until they stop being scary and start being challenges to solve. Every disaster throws curveballs. Your ability to bend without breaking determines if you make it through. Hollywood loves the image of the lone survivor, one guy against the world. But anyone who's been in real chaos knows that's a myth. In the military, teamwork isn't optional, it's oxygen. Every scout, every squad, every convoy runs on the same principle. No one survives alone. That doesn't mean you can't operate solo if you need to. It means your chances improve dramatically when you're part of a capable, coordinated group. In a true survival event, long-term blackout, supply collapse, civil unrest, isolation is weakness. You can't guard your home, cook, filter water, sleep, and stay alert 24/7. But with a team, even a small one, you can rotate duties, pool resources, and protect each other. Build your team before you need it. Start with family, friends, or trusted neighbors. Find people with complementary skills: medical, mechanical, navigation, communication. Hold casual prep nights or workshops. It's not paranoia, it's community resilience. And just like in the military, trust is earned through consistency. If you say you'll bring batteries, bring them. If you say you'll check on the group weekly, do it. Reliability builds unity. Remember this: lone wolves survive short-term, but packs endure. When chaos hits, you want people beside you who stay calm, focused, and ready to act. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. Every one of these lessons comes down to a single word: mindset. You can't buy it. You can't download it. You build it through discipline, planning, training, communication, and teamwork. The world we live in is fragile. Systems we rely on, power, water, logistics, law enforcement, they all depend on order. And order is one bad week away from breaking. But if you prepare, if you think like a soldier without needing the uniform, you'll have what others won't: control. Control of your thoughts, your actions, your resources, and your response. When the lights go out and fear takes over, that calm mindset becomes your most valuable weapon. So keep building it. One skill, one plan, one drill at a time. Because readiness isn't about fear, it's about respect for how fragile comfort really is. If you take one thing away from this briefing, let it be this: you don't have to be a soldier to survive like one. You just need the discipline to stay ready, the heart to protect others, and the humility to keep learning. Start small. Organize your gear, build your network, test your plans, then do it again and again. Preparation is never finished. It's a way of life. Because when the next storm, blackout, or crisis hits, it won't be the strongest or smartest who survive. It'll be the ones who were ready before anyone else thought to start. I'm Jimmy, and this has been the Preppers Briefing. Stay alert, stay disciplined, and as always, stay ready.